Merry Christmas, everybody. This is both an update video and kind of like a small overhaul. We've got a little something to adjust, but first the update. So, and this ties in. Second edition is now well into development. It's looking awesome so far, but it got me thinking about something. And in my last video, and pretty much since the beginning, I've kind of been assuming that I could just release new editions as I wanted. I figured I'd do one every, year or so, but I started thinking about creators and collectors and about the kind of time scale that would be best for them to work with, and that without a stated timeline, without a stated release schedule for Mage War, it would make things a little complicated and it wouldn't be good. You would get, a certain time after a release, and you'd start thinking, well, do I want to make a Mage War product? And if you don't know when the next edition is going to come out, then likely the answer is going to be no. But if you know when to expect a new edition, then that would make it a little easier. So, hang on a second. Just some root beer. So, the release schedule that I think is going to work here is a new edition of Mage War will be released every 1.5 to 2 years. So that gives you, at the very least, 18 months to work with after a release, within which, you can well, I guess you'd want to do it sooner than 18 months, but, you have let's say, 6 to 9 months to get out a Mage War product before you know that within the next maybe 9 months or so that a new edition is going to come out. So actually, maybe you got a little more than 9 months to work with there. I don't know, however long whatever you think's best for your work schedule. Some artists are faster than others. Some people, are their own artists. They can, design and do everything for the cards. So, whatever works for you. But you will not get a new Mage War edition, at the very least, within a 1.5 years of an edition being released. So that looks like the timeline that we're going to follow here with second edition. I expect it to be ready probably somewhere around the summertime of 2021, maybe kind of late spring, early summer, something like that. But it looks like it's going to be about a 1.5 years after first edition. And even if you want to count it from 1.1 on, that still seems like it's about on point there. But then I also kind of wanted to cover some more about new editions, like what's going to be in them. What are some things we can know ahead of time. And I thought I kind of covered this in the rulebook in the future editions page, but rereading it, there really isn't much there. And so I'm definitely going to edit that page in second edition, both for the release schedule and just to kind of give you a better idea of, what new editions might look like. But to give you that now, each new edition, I really want to add a ton to the game. I want to really bring it to the next level with each new edition. Most of that is going to be new abilities, all kinds. Maybe even some new types. I don't know if that's possible. I think I pretty much covered the bases. All the new abilities that I'm developing right now for second edition fall under either primary, secondary, special, world abilities, and global abilities. So it looks like that's all going to be consistent. But more for how new editions are going to change the game and everything. One of the goals in design here is to make sure that nothing becomes obsolete from each new edition. So that means the names of abilities are never going to change. I kind of, did a little bit of that with 1.1. There were some things that were changed around. There were some significant overhauls that needed to be made there. If any of you remember, with there were exchange abilities is what they were called, so those all got eliminated. And then a bunch of new stuff was added. But moving on, or moving forward in each new edition, that'll never happen again. The things that might change, though, are maybe like some of the wording of the rules. Something might get added to an ability, some kind of like new adjustments to the effects or something. And then definitely new abilities, just new abilities. But nothing is going to change about the cost, the MP cost of each ability to give it to a card. That'll never change. The play cost, if that's stated, that'll never change. So that's one of the main goals of design, is everything that gets added with each new edition needs to be complete when it's published, not need any adjustment, and won't include any changes that make anything previously obsolete. So technically, a deck that you made for first edition should still be legal in second edition. It may not be as good because you may be, missing some added components of game mechanics that were added in second edition that might work better with your strategy, but it doesn't mean that won't be a viable deck, or that those cards won't be properly designed. So I want to make sure that is how each new edition releases new abilities and adjusts things, or if anything gets adjusted. So aside from that, there are other major changes. I think one of the things, or not changes, but additions, one of the things that I think I've already stated is the new format for Organic Cube. And I don't know if I went into too much detail about this. I think I actually did just give the general idea, but to repeat that, it'll be a cube that you build up organically in play by building cards for that sideboard, assuming that the sideboard itself is the cube, that the cube includes the deck, and it's a specific style of like match play, one-on-one, that you can sideboard from your cube. Excuse me, soda. But then, if once you complete the cube, then you just have a cube, and you can still use it for Organic Cube. You'll have your whole cube to sideboard from, but then also, if you just want to play with other people that have never played before, if you want to teach it to them, or if you just want to draft your cube, you now have a cube with which to do that. And in Mage War, cubes are pretty small. In first edition, there are 180 cards minimum. There's no limit, but in second edition, I'm thinking of increasing that to 216 cards. I want to add more rares to the cube limit, and I still have to make sure and check all my math on that, because I picked everything very specifically, and I worked out all the math when I was doing cube format for first edition. But I felt like I wanted to adjust it, and so I'm gonna have to redo the math on that, make sure that I'm not messing up cube format with anything that I change. Yeah, I'm thinking about increasing that, but it's still, 216 cards for a cube is still pretty small. In like Magic the Gathering terms, that's like 2 commander decks basically, with a little sideboard, I guess. So should still be very easy to make. And then there are also going to be other surprises as well. There are other things that I'm going to add in second edition that I'm not going to reveal yet, but when that gets done, it's going to be very, very awesome. And actually, that's the main component that's already been finished. So is the special thing I'm not talking about. So now the rest of second edition will basically just involve all the new abilities and testing it and making sure everything's balanced, and just kind of adding more to the game. And also in doing that, making sure that the new additions are balanced with everything else. So if adding a new aspect of game mechanics or kind of support for different strategies, if there isn't support for other strategies as well to counter those, then those need to be added as well and included in second edition to make sure that everything works together and can play off of one another. That there isn't one, too dominant strategy for any one, type of deck that'll just, dominate second edition. That wouldn't be any fun. So, I think that was pretty much it. So second edition will come out probably somewhere around the summer, maybe a little earlier, maybe not. Testing's pretty hard right now since everybody's, socially distanced, and not a lot of people are getting together for games. But however I can try and coordinate that, I will definitely make an effort to. Even if Corey and I just have to maybe like do games over the phone or something, I don't know how we can coordinate that, but we'll definitely find a solution and get second edition to you whenever it's finished. And again, if you are a creator or even in the future a collector of things that people have done, and since you can print your own Mage War cards and not pay me anything, you determine your own print run, so you determine the scarcity of your own product. But now you know that with the new release schedule, you won't get a new edition for at least a year and a half. And the other thing I'll do is I'll try and announce as well, like I'm doing for second edition, that a new edition is in development. So you kind of get that like ahead of time, okay, a new edition's coming out now. We definitely shouldn't put anything out for this. And generally, I think development for each new edition will probably take about 6 months. That seems like the time frame. I mean, minus just the very, very beginning, which did go pretty rapidly for first edition, but I feel like 6 months would have been a good time frame for that. I think it ended up being about that, but a little longer for some additional things. But that was because it was first edition. We were just building the entire foundation of it, so it did take a little bit longer. But second edition feels like about 6 months is going to be good. So yeah, I think that's everything, and we'll see how second edition turns out. But looking very, very good. I'm very excited, and might have some other stuff for you too. I know I don't put out that many videos. I'm kind of sorry. I feel like sometimes I just don't want to make videos. I'm not really a person that wants to be in front of a camera, so I'm not like it's more for being informative than being entertaining. But sometimes I don't know. Like you can do both, and I probably should do more. So I'm going to try and get some other stuff out there, especially because doing the more informative videos takes a lot more to do to work up to and make sure you got all your information correctly, you figured everything out, so you're not saying anything wrong. Whereas entertaining, you can just be entertaining. So with that, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.